you can make a difference. Go to vettix.org.
Coming up, we talk with an Eastern Kentucky University professor after hundreds of people reported seeing a likely meteor overnight. Plus, one mother-daughter duo is hoping to help a horse in need after it was found injured on a strip job in Pike County.
And clouds have been on the increase through today. Showers not far off. I'm tracking those moving into the region. Coming up is First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Well, many of you may have seen and heard something in the sky last night. A bright streaking light and loud boom were reported across Kentucky. Experts say it was likely a meteor. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to professors at Eastern Kentucky University about what took place.
The planetarium here at Eastern Kentucky University offers a very unique way to see a lot of things that are above us in the solar system, the galaxy, and even beyond, and even getting a glimpse of all the objects that are quite literally moving around outer space. A streak of light in the sky, maybe a boom is heard. What was it? Eastern Kentucky University's Dr. Mark Pitts says most were likely meteors. Most of them are the size of a grain of sand and they burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, but some could be the size of a pebble or even a baseball. And if you heard a boom, chances are the sound you heard was it exploding when it hit a level of the Earth's atmosphere.
If you heat these things quickly enough, then at some point they explode. And if they explode lower in the atmosphere where there's a lot more air, then you can get a noticeable auditory boom.
Many people reported seeing the object sometime, and many people reported seeing this in the southern and southeastern corner of the state near Middlesboro. And there's a good reason for that. Experts tell me that that is actually one of the darkest areas of the state, one of the darkest areas where there is what they call little light pollution. In Madison County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Phil, thank you. Professors we spoke with talked about the Perseid meteor shower, which hits its peak August 13th. From midnight to 6 a.m., you may be able to see as many as 50 to 100 meteors per hour in the northeastern part of the sky.
I actually heard it last night. I was sitting in bed and I thought something had fallen down downstairs. No, it turns out a lot of people heard it, a lot of people saw it or felt it. So a unique kind of celestial phenomenon out there last night. It was a good night to see it because the clouds continue to move in as we head through tonight. We've seen some sunshine today, yes, but cloudiness continues to work into the region ahead of that next system, 81, the current temperature here in Hazard. Notice this. This is not something you see often. The Big Sandy, the Kentucky River Valley, actually warmer than many folks in the Cumberland Valley. Usually areas out near Lake Cumberland a little warmer, but they're in the upper 70s and low 80s, and it's mostly around 80 or so. So we haven't seen as much sunshine today, so that's actually helped us keep things a little cooler and closer to the dew point, so it is feeling much more muggy out there. In fact, we continue to see a couple of downpours in parts of the region, one into portions of Buchanan County, and as a matter of fact, I'll zoom back out. We'll show you another one that is currently moving through portions of McCreary into Whitley County. So, yeah, we're not done with the pop-ups this evening. Through the next 12 hours, those temperatures falling into the upper 60s with those clouds returning, and that'll be a feature of the forecast as we head through tonight. Steve, I'll have the latest on when more showers work in, when the rain could be heavy, and when the summer feel returns in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. Today, kids in one apartment complex were able to beat the heat with a local fire department. The West Knox Volunteer Fire and Rescue visited Corbin Manor Apartments to provide a splash pad to the kids in the complex and provided free food as well. Captain Sean Rogers with West Knox Fire and Rescue says not only does this bring joy, but also educates the children on what they do for the community.
We're giving away free food today for the children as well. There's a lot of children that may not have a lot to eat, so this may be a real blessing for them. And it also, you know, teaches them a little bit about what we do as a fire department and how we affect the community as a whole.
Rogers also says they typically try to do a few of these events before the start of the school year to give the children one last summer activity and also bring awareness to what the fire department does on a daily basis. An Owensboro teenager is back home after having an apparent seizure and nearly drowning in Muhlenberg County. John Rue is doing much better and is talking about the scary ordeal. Brady Williams reports.
Most of the time, if you want to see John Rue, he's having fun with his friends, just like any healthy 13-year-old. But 2 weeks ago, he and his friends were fishing when things turned scary.
This is all from accounts of other people. I don't remember any of this.
They had some breakfast. They were at the pond.
About 10 minutes later, my eyes went back in my head and I fell into the pond.
The first thing he does remember from that day was an ambulance.
I wake up and I say, "What happened?" And they said, "Well, we think you had a seizure." And I said, "Oh."
He nearly drowned if not for his friends Jackson and Alex Moore, who jumped into the pond and got Megan Bradfield, who gave him CPR.
Those are kids that'll get in there and save anybody. I mean, they're really good.
Word spread quickly to his other friends.
My mom comes in there, sprints out the house, and says John Rue had a seizure.
Yeah.
I was confused, scared. I had no clue what happened.
Over the next week, he was in Vanderbilt Children's Hospital while they tried to figure out what caused it.
I had at least 20 messages a day on my phone saying, "Is he okay? What happened?" All that.
Now he's home, back with his friends.
I just feel normal now. I mean, I'm trying to not let it affect me and how I do stuff in my normal life.
They're still not sure why he may have had a seizure, but he is sure it's a lot better to be back home.
John says he's very grateful to everyone who helped save him and everyone who has wished him well during the last few weeks. One mother-daughter duo in Pike County is hoping to help a horse in need. Warrior was spotted on a strip job in the area a couple of months ago with one leg severely injured, making it unusable. So Tracy and Kylie Farrell tried for weeks to bring him home and find the colt some comfort. Now he's in their barn, but finding a veterinarian who can help has been a journey of its own.
We've got funds coming in. I do have one vet that is in Wyoming, but he is 26 hours away, and he can't handle that kind of drive. It'd just be too hard on him. We need a vet here, somewhere close that will, that will do the surgery.
Farrell says the prosthetic Warrior needs is being worked on by a company in Lexington, but every vet she contacts says they would only euthanize the horse. Coming up at 6, hear why she says that's not the right call. Former President Donald Trump is due to appear in court tomorrow afternoon. He's been given the option of doing so in person or virtually, but his attorney told CBS News he will be there if the security arrangements can be met. CBS's Natalie Brand is in Washington with the latest on the third indictment of the 45th President of the United States.
Security preparations are underway and demonstrators gathering outside the Washington, D.C. courthouse where former President Donald Trump is scheduled to be arraigned Thursday. This indictment related to his actions after losing the 2020 election on January 6th lists 4 felony charges accusing Trump of spreading lies, knowing his claims were false, and along with 6 co-conspirators organizing fake electors in 7 states he lost.
This is the first time that political speech has been criminalized, and they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he had corrupt intent.
Former federal prosecutor Harry Littman says that defense falls short.
His efforts to make this a political speech case will not fly, given the facts as alleged in the indictment.
Special counsel Jack Smith has yet to charge or even name the 6 co-conspirators listed in the indictment.
He's charged Trump and Trump alone when he could have charged many more.
Clues in the indictment suggest lawyers Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Sidney Powell, as well as former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark could be the potential co-conspirators.
This may be just a little push toward any of the 6 to say, okay, I didn't name you, here's your chance. Come on down, you can cooperate with me.
Some legal analysts say the narrow indictment means the trial could happen quickly, possibly wrapping up by next spring. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Several January 6th defendants were due in court in D.C. tomorrow, where Trump is set to appear, but those cases have been rescheduled to a later date. Former Vice President and current Republican candidate for president Mike Pence spoke today at the Indiana State Fair. Pence did not mention former President Trump or the indictment that came out yesterday. Instead, Pence talked about his economic plan. He's the first Republican candidate to release one. He says the focus is on bringing down inflation and clamping down on, quote, runaway spending.
They haven't downgraded our credit rating since 2011, which happened to be the time when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States. I mean, men and women, I will tell you, we all know that inflation is a man-made problem, and that man's name is Joe Biden.
Pence also says he would want to have a discussion with younger Americans about the future of Social Security and Medicare. He says social safety net programs are a big expense that could only lead to high bills in the future. Closer to home, preparations are underway for Saturday's Fancy Farm picnic out in western Kentucky, and this year we will see both gubernatorial candidates square off. Current Governor Andy Beshear and Attorney General Daniel Cameron are both scheduled to speak at the annual picnic in Graves County. The event draws people from across the Commonwealth, and it is the unofficial kickoff to the election season. Senator Mitch McConnell is listed as pending on the Fancy Farm speakers list. The picnic is Saturday at St. Jerome's Catholic Church. A lawsuit was filed today by Attorney General Daniel Cameron's office against CVS Caremark, Optum Rx, and Express Scripts. The lawsuit alleges the insulin manufacturers and pharmacy benefit managers worked to manipulate and increase insulin prices. About 450,000 Kentuckians live with diabetes. Coming up on First at 4, the United States credit was downgraded from its highest AAA rating to AA+ as the nation's debt continues to grow.
And more clouds on the way with showers forming fast. The details on when you can expect some heavy weather in a minute.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose. The